In today's edition, we're going to be looking at 3 ways to try and unlock a rigid back. Okay, if you're like most Americans, you probably find yourself in this type of environment a little bit too often than you like. Whether it's commuting to work, or being at work, or sitting at school, or whatever the case may be. We're going to try and do things, well, to start off in the seated position that might encourage a little bit more movement through some rigid muscles and stiff spine. Now, you don't have to get up right now, you can just stay seated. And as you sit there watching the video, what you're going to do is first just get an assessment of how well you can rotate while sitting. Turn just as far as you can with your whole torso. When you get to that end range, just do a little bit of a side bend. Come up, and now can you rotate a little further? Perform another side bend when you get to that end range. Come up and rotate further. What you'll find is just by adding rotation with side bending, or what we'd call lateral flexion, you actually mobilize a lot of the vertebrae in your spine and the tissue that surrounds it. So once again, you're just going to be rotating as far as you can, comfortably, not going into pain or anything, in a seated tall position. When you reach the end range, dip down into a side bend, come up, and see if you can go further. Now, this is a very simple thing that you can do as a little bit of a work break. Now, that's called a type 2 spine, meaning that we're rotating and side bending on the same side. Then there's the type 1 spine, where we could rotate to the right, but then side bend left, and then come back up, and did that free it up as well? You might find that does the same job as opening up the spine. So it doesn't necessarily matter which way you side bend, but by combining rotation and side bending together, things start to open up. Now, in a standing posture, what we might want to do is encourage the whole body to feel what it's like to rotate. So with your feet underneath you in a nice, tall, relaxed posture, you might just take one arm, and with the head and the arm, begin the rotation around to your right. Can you feel your rib cage start to rotate? Driving the rotation into your hips and pelvis, into the legs, all the way down to your feet. And when you come back around, take that same arm, rotate it internally, so the palm's down, and see if you can go the opposite direction. And just spend a little bit of time rotating back and forth, switching arms, palm up, allowing your body to rotate back, and then flip the palm down and come across the other direction. So now it's almost like a wash rag of all the tissue from the head to the feet, all the way up, wringing out the tension left to right. Then, as you stand there, the last one we'll do is just getting your body to go into flexion and collapsing down against gravity as much as you can. Internally rotating the arms will help to encourage the rib cage to drop and push back, flexing into your spine. And then start to unwind. The arms start to unravel and externally rotate, and you'll feel your spine extend. And what you'll do is just travel in and out of extension and flexion. So internally rotating, while keeping your head nice and level, you'll experience your shoulders moving forward and upward toward your chin or jaw. The chest will drop, the rib cage tilting forward. The pelvis, meanwhile, is going to be tucking under with the tailbone, so the front of your pelvis is tilting upward. So these 2 points begin coming together. Can you do that while your legs are straight? And then from that position, unwind. Externally rotating, you'll feel your shoulders dropping back, pulling back behind you as they drop down. Head is still level. The rib cage begins lifting toward the chin. The pelvis begins dropping away, so these 2 points are very far away as your knees softly bend. In essence, what we're really doing is squat mechanics, getting you to properly understand the oppositional movement between the head and the ribs and the pelvis, and all the major joints of the body, seeing how they open tissue up and then close space, open space and close. And just by going in and out of these motions, you'll begin to re-educate your body. Give it a reminder of how it's meant to move instead of staying in that jello mold we might call a car or a chair. Give it a shot. See how it feels after you do those. Walk around. Are you lighter, longer, more grounded, more energized? Maybe worth a shot. Let me know how it goes.